Saqqara, Egypt. This ancient necropolis, located 15 miles south of the Giza Plateau, is home to what mainstream archaeologists suggest is the first pyramid ever built in Egypt, the Step Pyramid of King Djoser.
The Step Pyramid at Saqqara is known as the Stairway to Heaven. The complex is vast. It's about 40 acres, entirely walled in. There's a 30-foot wall with 13 false doors. You only get in if you know where the right door is.
Curiously, the only reason why the pyramid is believed to have been built as a tomb for King Djoser is that statues of the monarch were found inside the pyramid. Like all other pyramids, there was no credible evidence that a body was ever entombed there.
Now, this pyramid is 5,000 years old.
That's amazing. So is all of this made out of mud brick?
Correct. This was all made of mud brick, just similar to that era. The leap between this and then the Great Pyramid of Giza was massive.
In recent years, the conventional notion that the Step Pyramid was built only 80 years earlier than the Great Pyramid of Giza has been challenged, not only by ancient astronaut theorists, but also an increasing number of archaeologists and scholars. They believe that the likelihood that Egyptians went from building a 200-foot tall step pyramid out of mud bricks to building a monumental marvel like the Great Pyramid in only 80 years to be a virtual absurdity. They also believe that the mathematical precision of the Great Pyramid's construction, coupled with its precise alignments, not only with regard to Earth's cardinal directions, but also to the Orion constellation, is proof that it was built by a highly advanced civilization.
One of the things you find, for example, is that if you take the geodetic location of the Great Pyramid as a decimal degree, it creates a string of numbers that match the same numbers as the speed of light traveling through space, measured in meters per second. Another thing we find as well is that if you pass a great circle from the Great Pyramid through its cardinal and its ordinal directions, what you find is that these circles will pass through more landmass of the Earth than any other location on Earth. You find that the Great Pyramid is essentially located at the centre of the world's landmass. I personally think that Egyptologists, they've got something wrong somewhere. It's as simple as that, and they need to put this evidence aside, step back a bit, and just look at these monuments afresh.
According to ancient astronaut theory, the Great Pyramid was most likely built more than 12,000 years ago, some 7,000 years before the building of the Step Pyramid, and sometime before the cataclysmic event known as the Great Flood. They also believe that after the flood, the original function of the Great Pyramid as a power plant was long forgotten, along with all of mankind's other technological achievements, and that it would take a series of interventions by other extraterrestrial visitors to help humans rebuild the world they once knew.
In the text that we can read about Djoser, does he mention at all how he was inspired to build this?
There was one brilliant man. That man was called Imhotep.
Okay.
Who in history came out of nowhere. He was the designer and engineer of that pyramid.
What does Imhotep actually mean?
It means, I know you're gonna like this, it means, I come in peace.
Oh, really? That's
Yes.
very interesting. So the extraterrestrial greeting, so to speak.
Yes. He showed up into the life of the king out of nowhere, and then ascended into positions so quickly, which is very uncommon in ancient Egypt.
What does that mean? What do you mean out of nowhere? Did he drop from the sky, or did he come from another land?
In Egyptian history, you can normally trace every position back to their parents, but Imhotep, nothing.
Imhotep was a commoner, but a brilliant thinker who grew to great influence during the time of the pharaohs that he served, and then became virtually immortalized. That is, unlike any other commoner, a cult formed around him. Some have suspected that he was possibly Joseph from the Bible. That's interesting because Joseph was an advisor to a pharaoh in about the same period of time. What we know for sure is that he was a brilliant scientist for his day.
Imhotep rose to the incredible status as the vizier or wizard to the pharaoh. This is where we get that word wizard from, vizier. There are great mysteries about who Imhotep was, where he came from. This is interesting because later on, Imhotep is deified. And what's fascinating is the depictions of him. He looks like he's got this oversized head. He's got strange-looking hands. He almost looks non-human. And one of the extraordinary texts tell us that his knowledge may have come from the stars.